So the last video that I filmed, that cute little shortened top set, was actually made to go under the dress we're going to be making this time. Throw you a little bit of a curveball. Oh, what's that? Come here. Oh, it's a big baby. Oh, those big purrs. Oh my goodness. This is just your show. People just come to see you guys while I just sew on the side. That's what this is. I hunted for this dress because, spoiler, this is actually a mock-up dress of a dress I'm going to be making later in the year. And I'm very excited about it. So this fabric I got, it is mesh, it's see-through, it's so soft. I'll put a photo right here of the, oh hi, yeah, good boy. Put a photo right here of the dress that we're going to be making. This seller reached out to me and was like, hey, girl, I do this by myself. Let me know if anything doesn't work. And I'm like, cool. Let's bump this up on the timetable so that I can get her review out. So I'm going to just dive into it. We're going to cut it out and yeah, cut it out. Let's do it. Okay, so this pattern is going to be a little weird to put together because it is see-through, so I will be doing French seams for the first time. Ugh, I'm a little nervous, but that's okay. Something new, that's push ourselves, and that's how we grow. So, they have all of the pieces numbered 1 to 11. How many you're supposed to cut out on the pattern page, as well as on the pattern piece itself. So I'm going to follow that and just check them off, just to make sure that I've got everything I'm supposed to have. One of the problems with this is that this fabric is going to be very, very stretchy. So because I don't want it to stretch out of place and I just don't think this pattern is made for something this stretchy, I am going to have to be very, very careful sewing stuff together. So I'm going to, no, it's delicate. It's delicate fabric. It's not for, oh, it's just, no. Oh, it's not for Panthers. No, I gotta do stuff. You're so cute though. Makes it hard to do stuff.
Head down the highway side.
This is the front centerpiece. So we're gonna sew the princess seams, and we're gonna do it French seam style, which I've never done before, so I'm a little nervous, especially because this is a ridiculous project to be doing French seams for the first time, but I have no chill factor. So we are going to get this sewn together. I have to make sure that I'm not stretching it too much. It's gonna have to be very carefully fed through the machine, probably very slowly, so that it doesn't do that, so it doesn't stretch. I need, the seam allowance is 1 centimeter, so I need half of that. So I'm gonna hope for the best. I'm gonna try and sew as close to the seam as possible, and then hope that it all goes to plan. I lied. I'm gonna put the back together first with the princess seam so that if I mess up, it's on the back and I don't have to look at it. Nope, that's gonna be the zipper. I don't need to sew the side. Ooh, this is going to test my brain today.
Cold wind, but it feels right with you.
I have the French seam sewed. Now what I have to do is go iron these flat, and then we're going to fold. If you don't know what French seams are, I'm doing my best. And then you're going to fold the seam and you're going to sew it like you would. And then the seam is all tucked into here. And I figured that would just look the nicest on the mesh. So we're going to find out if I was correct. Okay, so here's the seam. That's upside down. Here's the seam on this side. So now what we're going to do is we're going to fold this in half like this. And then we're going to sew the seam here like you usually would. And then you'll have a nice seam all folded in. We are going to take this very slow. I can't even cut any off because the seam allowance is just, it's so thin. Oh, hello. What are you up to? Okay, Raptor Tail, what do you want? Don't give me that look. Get out of the way. We don't walk all over. No. Jeez. You don't get to slip and slide on my desk and then get mad at me for it. I did not do nothing. It's not my fault. I got the back princess seams sewed on both of them. Look at how pretty they turned out. French seams, French seams. I said princess seams, they are princess seams. French seams is what I'm talking about today, my bad. I got them sewed in and they look so nice and clean, and the front didn't show through at all, and that was my concern because I thought for sure I was gonna mess it up, but I didn't. So now I feel confident moving on to the front ones. Those two are done. You tell everybody, you say, I'm okay. I have the front seams all done. It looks so cute. Now they have us sewing the shoulder seams and then sewing the side seams in separate steps, but I'm gonna do that all together because when I get up to iron, she's gonna steal my spot. And that's fighting with her over this chair is not on my list of things I want to do today. They do mention leaving space for a side zipper, but they also have space for the back zipper, so I'm just gonna sew up the sides because I don't want a side zipper at all. Just one up the back, so I'm just gonna sew up that seam like it's no big deal. Oh, I know what you're doing. I'm gonna fight with you about it.
Heavy breathing feels like I'm lucid dreaming. I'm not usually the type to rush into the night. This time,
How long do you think it's gonna take her to get into my chair after I move? Not very long. I'll tell you that much. Oh, do you know? Do you know I'm calling you out? You waited so long and you just moved when I needed to come back. I know, I'm so mean. I have the bodice all put together. Next is the sleeves. I am really happy with how it looks right now. All the French seams look so good. So we're gonna do the sleeves and touch sleeve, and that's the skirt. It seems like a really easy construction. So yeah, let's do it. Okay, so I had to cut interfacing for the cuffs, and I did not like the white under the cuff, but I have this ecru color that's like almost perfectly my skin color. White translucent. Anybody order that? To go, that's for another project, but I have enough to spare to do the cuffs under this, which is absolutely perfect. So I'm gonna sew the cuffs to the satin and then all around the edges, like we did with the bustier, just to keep them all together, and then I'm gonna iron the interfacing onto this side for the cuffs.
I can't be speeding. I'm taking it slow, but I just want more.
Okay, I'm gonna fold a gather stitch. I'm gonna sew a gather stitch into this seam and then gather it up to the cuff. Okay, I see. Okay, it makes sense. It makes sense now. What I'm doing makes sense. I had to be here. Often why I don't look at what's coming up in my patterns, because usually I have to be there to see it, and it stresses me out if I don't see it.
I'm taking it slow, just go with the flow.
Okay, I have the sleeve gathered and the interfacing and cuff pinned, and now we're just gonna sew along here, and then what they have us doing is folding this seam over and ironing and then sewing this whole cuff together, but I'm not certain I could fit my hand through here when it's all cuffed in. So what I'm gonna have to do is probably put a button in. I'm not sure because the satin just doesn't allow for that stretch, and I am not confident I could fit my hand through here. Well, maybe we'll try it and we'll see how it works. But first we're gonna sew the cuff and then we're gonna do it to the other side. Okay, so I have the sleeve into the cuff, and now what we're gonna do is fold this over and iron it, and then sew this whole thing like a seam. And what I'm gonna try and do is get as close to the edge here as possible so that it gives me enough room to put my hand through. And then I'm only gonna sew it to here, to probably here, and then I'm going to try to put my hand through because I don't want to have to seam rip this whole thing because it didn't work. So we're gonna just iron that and play it by ear. But I'm gonna do the other one first. I have the cuff all ironed and this ironed down like this. Next we just have to put in an ease stitch in the shoulder here. And yes, I did double check that this was the shoulder and I wasn't messing it up again. And then we will sew the sleeve together.
I'm taking it slow.
Okay, so I've got the cuff sewn and it looks like it's gonna fit. However, I forgot that I'm supposed to be French stitching things, but I don't think it's going to matter just because of the gathered cuff. At least I hope not. I don't know whether I should French seam it now. Oh, what do I do? I don't know. Yeah. I'm gonna French seam it to the cuff, and then yes, we'll see how that goes. I have the French seam done in the sleeves. I have no idea what it looks like. We're gonna have to just sew the cuff and hope for the best. I think it looks nice. It looks okay. It looks good. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this cuff because it's sewn completely together, no buttons, and then we're gonna fold this over top of the seam here and then top stitch it like that so that the seam is completely hidden on the inside. And then I just need to make sure that it fits my hand. Might have to break my thumb to put it in, but oh yeah, see, it's gonna be so cute. I love that. Okay, let's do the cuffs and then we'll attach the sleeves and then we can move on to the skirt. And oh, hi Beans. Sorry, I didn't see you there. And then there's one cuff done. It looks so cute. I'm so excited to see it on. Let's do the other one. I have the French seams prepared for the shoulders. Should I French seam shoulders? Should I French seam shoulders? Probably not. I have no idea. We're gonna do it anyway. Let's see how this goes. I'm gonna sew it in and then flip it the other way and then sew the seam in just like we've been doing, and yeah, we'll see how she does. I have the bodice all put together. Look at how cute it looks. Oh my goodness, I love it so much. So next I'm gonna move on to the skirt and I'm gonna start putting the panels together, leaving the back open.
You took me to see Versailles in the middle of July.
I have the skirt all sewn together with the princess seams. Now I have to do the hem of the skirt. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to zigzag the hem, but I'm not going to actually sew the hem until, you know what, I'm not even gonna zigzag the hem. I'm not gonna sew the hem until it's on the skirt, just because I've had some problem with like lining that up if I hem it first. So yeah, I'm gonna hem it after, and I'm gonna zigzag it after I get it attached to the bodice, which is next without hemming. So let's do that. I am unsure if I should gather or not. No, I have to do French seams. So I just sew the, I have to sew the wrong sides together first because this counts.
I'll fall into the deep end, giving.
We are putting in the zipper before we put the collar on. I assume probably because then the collar will cover the zipper ends and then you can just button it really nicely back there because it's going to need a button, which means I'm going to have to make a button. So that's going to be fun, but we'll get to that after we put the zipper in. There is a way to French seam the bottom of a zipper, but the whole point is to hide the zipper, so I'm not sure if there's a way that I'm not sure you can French seam a zipper, but I'm going to try because everything I looked up talked about French seaming the bottom part of the zipper, not like the zipper itself, so I'm gonna try to French seam a zipper, and if it doesn't work, well, it's a little big anyway, so I can just cut some off and try again. But remember, there are no rules in sewing unless you want there to be rules in sewing. You don't need to ask permission to try new things, even if that thing sounds crazy. Okay, now let's see if this is even remotely possible. Oh yeah, I think it will be. Yeah, because then you can just fold it in on, oh my goodness, okay.
Into my feelings, afraid to go on.
So I've got the French seam zipper in. It is incredibly difficult to do the other side. I definitely have more fabric on one side than the other, but you can't really tell from this side. It looks really nice. I'm not sure that it would look any different if I just sewn the zipper in. I'm not convinced. But it's possible. So I have the zipper in. In stretchy fabric just kind of is a pain in the butt. However, it did line up really nice. So there's that. Next I'm going to sew the French seam down, and how I'm going to do this is I've lined up the zipper here, and then I'm just going to flip like this and just sew it down and then sew it up and then hope that at the end I can make this make sense over it. So let's do that. We are just trying stuff and figuring it out, you guys. That's why we do mock-ups. But nobody said you had to make a mock-up that you couldn't wear.
Go on this ride, I'm scared to crash inside.
I French seamed the zipper last, and it went a little weird just because I did the seam down here. Last, I've never done that before. I always do the zipper in after that seam. But I French seamed the zipper, and it looks good. It looks good. It looks super cute. It looks so cute. I'm gonna do the collar now, and yeah, I gotta iron some interfacing on it, and I've gotta sew it together, but that's what we're gonna do now.
This time I might be speeding. I'm taking it slow.
I've got both fabrics sewn together. There are 2 of these and 2 interfacings, and now I just need to iron the interfacing on, and then we'll start to work on the collar. I have both the outside and the inner collar interfaced. I have the seam allowance ironed on the outer one. I just picked the prettier one. And also I should mention that there was facing for the collar of the dress as well, but I did not use that because it was see-through. Now we are going to sew them face to face like this, just along this curved inner edge here and down both sides, so almost like you're making a belt and you're just not finishing one side of the belt. Hope that makes sense.
But I just want more. I'm taking it.
Trim all the edges and the corners just to minimize bulk. Now, are these tiny scissors super practical for cutting fabric? Probably not, but I really like the maneuverability they offer. Okay, and then we are going to, whoops, those are just pictures, not instructions. Turn the collar right side out and press neatly. Pin the lower edge. Okay, so now I'm gonna sew this side, the inner collar stand. So not the one with the folded edge, but the one that's straight onto the neck of the dress. There are markings on the pattern on how to do this and where to put stuff, but because it's mesh, it is very, very difficult to keep those places marked.
I'm taking it slow. Just go with the flow. I'm taking it slow.
I got the cuff sewn on, and then it sort of just figures itself out on the back. You flip the zipper seam into the underneath of the cuff, and that closes it off really nicely here. And then you just flip this seam up. I'm gonna have to iron it. I didn't, but you're gonna have to flip the seam up like this, and then just sew a top stitch all the way down so that the cuff, the collar is all sewn in.
But I just want I'm taking it slow.
I have the collar sewn on, and now all that I have to do is make a button, and then button it, and make the loop, and then hem it. But I have to wait for somebody to put it on, that is able to put it on for me to hem it first. So that might have to wait a little bit.
But I just want I'm taking it slow. Just go with the flow. I'm taking it slow. My knees on the floor. I'm begging it's you I
I'm gonna let the button glue dry. I just glue down the edges so that they don't pull out. It just makes me feel better about the buttons. But first try, and we did it. Oh, it's still wet. No! Ugh. I got fabric glue all over me. Don't wipe it on your pants, Julie. Come on. Pull it together. Okay. I'm gonna just put a little bit more glue on that. I don't like that I pulled some off. There. Yes, I did find my fabric glue. Turns out it was exactly where I put it. I just didn't remember putting it there. Okay, so I'm gonna do the button loop. I will post all the links for this below. There's Lee that does a video, and she does a great video, so I'm just gonna follow her again because I've done this once before with my blue dress. I forgot to make sure that the zipper will zip up properly. It's gonna be so cute. Okay, I'm gonna do a button loop, and then I'll be back to attach the button, and then we're done except for the hem. Okay, I have my button and my button loop all sewed on. I just have a little bit of where the mesh gave away here before the zipper, so I'm just gonna quickly just sew it in, make it look a little nicer. There, that looks much better. Still not great, but that is okay. It doesn't look like an open seam. So let's try it on and we will see how it looks. Okay, not quite done, but pre-check-in before the final product. Definitely gonna have to size down with the next one. It's a few inches. Like this is fairly big. The zipper did some buckling. Because of the stretch in the fabric. I tried very hard not to stretch the fabric as I was sewing. So it happens. I think I'm definitely gonna size down at least one size. I will probably use this size cuff just because I like the size of these cuffs, but I'll just make everything else a smaller size. But enough. It is so cute. I love it so much. I think it turned out perfect, except for the few imperfections it has, but you know, that's...
head down the highway side, cold wind but it feels right. With you I'm heavy breathing, feels like I'm lucid dreaming. I'm not usually the type to rush into the night. This time I can't be speeding. I'm taking it slow, but I just want more. I'm taking it slow. I'm taking it slow, but I just want more. I'm taking it slow, just follow the flow. I'm taking it slow.
Here is the dress completely done. It looks so adorable. It's very like feminine, but also a little sultry with this like see-through mesh. Oh, it's so stunning. I love the sleeves. I love everything about this outfit. I'm very happy with how it turned out. It looks so cute over top of this green comfy shorts top. But it's also very comfy in itself. Like, it feels very light, very breezy, like I'm not wearing anything, which is what you want if you're really uncomfortable with clothes. I just love it. Here's the back. Like I said, the zipper did bulge a little bit. I did iron it, and that did help quite a bit. But yeah, here it is. I am so excited. Having this dress done makes me so excited for the dress I'm gonna be making, you guys. You have no idea. I'm so excited about that one. If you want to be notified when that video comes out, please hit the subscribe button. Love you guys, and I hope you have a great day.